What's up, everyone? Welcome to a brand new episode of Entertainment Wars. My name is Zach.
And my name is Cody.
And guys, you guys asked for it. You guys loved episode 1, and here we are talking episode 2. Me and Cody are so happy to bring you guys this episode because we got some brand new warriors today. I said warriors because these guys are really going to fight to the death in some sort of capability way. Some creative ways, some imaginative ways, but we're still all going to be friends in the end of the day.
Absolutely, guys. You guys know, first of all, thank you guys for all the support you gave us for episode 1. Over 300 of you tuned in to watch that episode, to watch our Mighty Warriors, and so we got episode 2 for you. We've made some changes from episode 1, but we're hoping it will be for the better. So, Zach, why don't we start introducing our warriors?
Yeah, so I'm going to introduce the first one. This man, he's sometimes creative. He's sometimes okay, but he is real, and that is John, the Real Talk. How you doing, man?
What's going on, guys? John, obviously, like Zach Pope said, from the Real Talk. I'm doing fine. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me. I was supposed to be in episode 1, but some things happened. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm ready to do this, and hopefully, I'm not the first one to get eliminated. So that's that.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, John. Thank you so much for joining in and becoming our next warrior. All right, guys. Our next individual is a very energetic individual. In fact, he might just very well be the most energetic person we've got on the show today. We'll see about that. But say hello to Mr. Austin Burke, also known as the Burkenator.
Oh my gosh, guys, I am so excited to be here. I watched episode 1. I was like, I have to be a part of this show. Thank you so much for inviting me. I am thrilled to see what happens. And like you guys said earlier, I hope I'm not the first one to be eliminated. So let's get into it. And I don't want to make any enemies. I love all of you. I'm just saying that.
We love you too, Austin. Thank you so much for showing up.
Alright, now all the way down under in Australia, sorry for my horrible accent, Casey's probably super mad at me and I just said her name, but Casey, right over there, do not miss out on her. Here she is. Casey, how are you doing today?
Oh, it's early in the morning and I'm ready to go.
Yes, she's ready. She's ready. We love it. We love to have her here. But Cody, why don't you introduce our last competitor?
All right, guys. You've known him. He's been on the YouTube platform. He is coming back. You might know him as the villain. As somebody who competed in Rotten or Fresh, he took a step back. But he's making his triumphant return. Say hello and welcome back to the villain, Adam Daly. Adam, how are you doing?
I'll be doing better if my name is pronounced right. It's Adam Daly, and I am back. I am the villain. Thank you for having me back. I'm really happy and just excited to be back here on YouTube. I have a lot of people reaching out to me every day saying, when you're coming back, and today's the day. But, you know, I am the villain. I can't just be all happy here. I have to trash talk a little bit. So, Austin, you're a great guy, super full of energetic, but Baconator, you're going down. Also, John, you and I collaborated quite a bit. Really great guy. I love talking movies with you. But however, you're going to have to change your channel to the fake talk after I'm done with you. And Casey, you come from the land down under. That's exactly where you're going to be going, is down after this match. So, bottles up, guys. Shots away. Oh, let's do this.
Yes. Awesome. That was a great intro. Welcome back, Adam. Glad to have you on here. Glad to have you on here. Glad to have everyone on here. Seriously, this is such a great bunch of people. But, Cody, why don't we just get straight into the show? Because that's why everyone's here. Not to hear us talk about how great these people are. Because everyone already knows how great all these people are. And maybe they don't. So if you don't, hit up their subscribe buttons, please. But seriously, let's start the show right now.
Alright everybody, we're moving straight into round number 1, and unlike with our first episode of Entertainment Wars, there's no more movie trivia. We listen to you guys, and you like the creativity, you like the pitches, so that's where we're going. Round 1, pitch it. If you're new here, the rules are as follows. First of all, before the show even aired, Zach and I gave our contestants the information of a fictional character, the year they were born, and the location they were born into. So our character is Gordon Smith. He was born in the 2000s, the year is 2014, and he lives in Chicago. So each contestant will have 2 minutes to present their pitches. After everyone has presented their pitch, then there's the 4-minute debate. After the debate's over, everyone everybody will have a 30-second rebuttal to tell us why their idea should come up top and why it's superior. But more importantly, nobody will be eliminated at the end of round 1. So, let's get this party started, guys. And you know what? Ladies first, as always. We are gentlemen here. So, Casey, why don't you go first?
Okay, so I came up with this idea about 20 minutes ago, which is why I was hoping that you wouldn't do ladies first, but that's okay. So, what did I do? I went to Google and I put in Chicago 2014. Basically what came up, something that like drew my attention was on like the 4th of July weekend, I think, in Chicago, there was this like massive, like it was like an entire neighborhood, just like a whole bunch of like shootings basically, all in like the one weekend, and they were coming from everywhere, and it was like the entire weekend and everything like that. And I guess that really piqued my interest because I've been reading like The Hate U Give lately, and like similar things happen in that. So basically I thought it would be interesting to have like a show which is about that, like somewhat fictional, somewhat like, well, like kind of like true, but with like fictionalized elements in it and sort of stuff like that. And I really thought that the last name Smith is a really generic name, so it could really be anyone in that story. It could be anyone's story, anyone, any person in that situation or anything like that. And I thought it would be like a really like wide arcing thing. It would just be like, it would, I don't know, it could encompass like quite a lot of things. And yeah, so I thought that, you know, maybe just sort of like a 12 episode miniseries on like Netflix or something like that. I thought that it would be I mean, this sort of thing gets very political because you guys have a very different country to what I have, and it gets very political, and I'm not going to like talk about that. But yeah, I feel like it could be like a very, like particularly in the media at the moment, all that sort of thing. Like there's a big rise in stories like that, but it would, yeah, they're good and they're powerful stories. So I thought that that would be an interesting concept to make a TV show out. I'm done.
Awesome, awesome. Great pitch, great pitch.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Casey, thank you for that idea. That was fantastic. Now moving on. Oh, Austin, you're an energetic guy. You're up next.
All right, y'all, I'm about to talk really fast, so I'm pitching you my 2-part season series premiere. Okay, the scene opens up. His name is James Atwell. He is standing on a sidewalk of a busy street in Chicago. You can hear his girlfriend screaming at him in the background. Suddenly, clothes start falling on his head. She's throwing all of his items out the window. He starts to walk down the street as the voice of his now ex-girlfriend fades away. Rain is pouring, people bumping into him. It's a bad day. You see, James is an average guy. He's boring. He owns a soy candle business. Yes, that's real. I didn't make that up. That's a real thing. And he's walking away. He begins to contemplate on whether or not he should do something about how bad his life is. He gets the bright idea that he's going to rob a bank. Suddenly, you hear a noise. The director yells, "Cut." The scene is over. You see, Gordon Smith is an actor portraying the character by the name of James Atwell. Gordon Smith is a successful movie star. He has everything he's ever wanted, and his life is great, even though deep down he feels that something is missing. So we cut later on to that week, and Gordon is actually in Chicago to meet with his agent. His agent calls and cancels. Once he's there, Gordon is in a hotel room trying to find something to do because, of course, his meeting was canceled. Gordon decides to turn on the television and notices that something's on the news that captures his attention. A crime has just been committed at a local bank right outside of Chicago. Gordon finds it a bit ironic since he had just read the entire script, and he knows that that's exactly what his character does in the movie. Just for kicks and giggles, he pulls out the script and notices something that will change his life forever. That's the end of part 1, starting part 2. The name of the bank in the script is called the Bank of Chicago. The name of the bank in the that actually happens was the Bank of Chicago. Gordon decides that he needs to do some research to figure out if this is actually what is happening in real life, that is what was going on in the script. So he finds out that the mask that the guy was wearing that robbed the actual bank is the mask that he wears in the show. We see Gordon's freakout session. He gains composure and decides to find out if there is indeed a James Atwell in real life. He gets the address, goes to his house to confront him. James opens the door.
10 seconds left.
You guys probably know what's about to happen, but the door opens and we find out that James looks exactly like Gordon and sounds like him. Is it a clone? Is it aliens?
Done.
What's going on? That's the premise.
Awesome. Damn. Shit.
Really, really cool. Holy cow, Austin.
Dang.
And I got my clipboard for
that's
notes,
some-
but all right.
Netflix,
All
you
right.
watching?
You know what? Moving on. John from the Real Talk. What's your idea, my friend?
All right, John, starting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright guys, so for my idea, I have a little bit something like this. The year is 1920. We follow our main character, Jennifer Aniston, in the mean streets of Greece. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so... actually, obviously, Gordon Smith, right? Gordon Smith is halfway done with his senior year at high school, reminiscing his favorite times in high school and all the people he's met, some friends, some acquaintances, all the experiences he's been through and able to have. He starts to realize that his life has now become so routine. Same shit, different day. As we get to meet his closest friends, his ex, and the potential girlfriend, it is a field trip day, and the whole class of 2014 is going to University of Illinois in Chicago to learn more about the college. Once they get there, they walk around the campus, they start attending different courses about the school's offerings. Gordon is in a classroom that learning about financial assistance when he dozes off into a nap. Out of nowhere, he is woken up by a horrific scream of the girl sitting next to him. Let me find my place him. That is followed by more screams and gasps. On the wall on Gordon's left is the professor that was just speaking in front of the class. He's pinned to the wall, full of blood and his guts hanging. Everybody starts to freak out, leaves the classroom, only to find out that it has been also happening across the university. Everybody's panicking, trying to call 911, and there's very few professors and the surviving kids and everything. They're trying to figure out what the heck to do. Let me see. Like I said, with very few professors and staff members left, some kids missing and dead, the surviving kids are trying to leave campus, but once they cross a certain point, they are quickly evaporated and killed. They realize that there's a force field, what seems to be surrounding the entire campus, and no one can leave or enter. They are killed instantly.
10 seconds.
Oh, no. Well, basically, a lot is going on. They're trapped. They can't get out. Cops are trying to figure out how to get inside. And I think I'll go into it a little bit more in our little discussion later on.
Done. Awesome. Great job. Great job.
Fantastic. As always, Zach and I are going to leave our thoughts for the end, so you know what? Last but certainly not least, villain Adam Daly. There, got it right that time. You're up next.
All right, so we open up in the year 2014 in Chicago. We see beautiful sceneries, we see Wrigley Field, and we open up with a quote from a murderer. To me, this world is nothing but evil, and my own evil just happened to come out because of the circumstances of what I was doing. From Eileen Wuornos, or from the subject matter of Monster. We open up with Gordon Smith. He walks outside to get his morning newspaper. He opens it up, and you hear his perspective in his voice. Hello, my name is Gordon Smith. I live in North Center, Chicago, statistically one of the safest neighborhoods in the city. I love our cuppies, and I'm a huge fan of this local diner called Sola. However, I'm always repulsed when I read the morning paper. Seems like the Chicago Tribune would rather tell us who the Cubs picked up in a trade, what our local officials are doing to make the city better, than tell the important stories. The neighbor comes out and yells, "Hey, did you hear about that murder, the body they found on the tarmac of O'Hare Airport?" Gordon responds, "Yeah, I sure did. What a sick world we live in." The neighbor's like, "Well, I got to get going to work." He takes off. "Go Cubs." Gordon responds, "We'll see you later, man." Gordon then, his third person perspective comes back in and says, "You see, what my neighbor doesn't know is that seeing this article at the bottom of the Tribune of the murder is even more sickening than the murder itself. While others would see a horrific act, I see a beautiful work of art, like something Van Gogh or Da Vinci would do. Having my art now on the front, having my art not front and center in the paper is the biggest crime of all. This show will star Paul Rudd as Gordon Smith, and what this show would convey is the despicable act of this murderer, a guy who has gone through a lot of turmoil and struggle in his life, and what made him bring to this point where he starts committing crimes with no MO. He does a lot of copycat murders.
10 seconds left.
And the cool thing is that it's going to make you feel remorse for him because he's going through a lot of tragedies in his life as well. So it's going to have that fine balance. So there we go.
Awesome. Done. Great job, everyone. Great job. All very intriguing ideas. Lots of murder in those, though. Yeah. Lots of murder. Lots of murder.
Just lots of death and murder in all of them.
But we did put it in Chicago,
Right.
so I guess that's our fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what, guys? Now it's time for the fun part. Here comes the very fun part. It's time for you guys to debate. So, Zach, give the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Who's gonna start?
Well, first things first, guys, if you did any research in 2014, statistically, the crime rate was actually lower. However, the gun violence was higher.
Yes.
But my story follows on the aspect of the homicides and the twisted nature of it, and also the human condition itself and what pushes a person to that point. So that's,
I feel like mine also explores that too, and mine's a true story, so I feel like there's a lot more emotional attachment in mine than in what is yours. So
but that's the problem. How many times have we seen the horror aspects and the murder aspects? We've seen all this before. Adam, I feel like yours is, it's basically Seven. You have the idea where the bad guy is this deranged psychopath, but he sees art in his work. That's what I feel from that premise. And then going down the horror route, it just feels very conventional, cliched, and something that we have seen before, and I don't necessarily want to see again.
Well, I didn't get to finish mine, but anyways, mine includes time travel, this mysterious beast that nobody knows about.
What the fuck?
And also just, I don't know, as a huge cast list, the showrunners are J.J. Abrams, Danny Lindelof on HBO. I don't know, mine has
I said convoluted earlier, that just kind of...
people sad. People watch sadness, okay?
It just feels like you're throwing too much at me at once. I can't really find a focus, nothing specific. I don't know, it feels like a mess.
That's okay, just keep throwing it at him. You'll just get confused and then he won't be able to say his points. Like, just TV show, murder, mysteries,
I don't know, I just feel like I've seen all these shows before. That's all I'm saying.
The only thing that I can think of that's close to my idea is Enemy, and that's a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal that goes down a completely different route, and the only similar thing is a clone. But have you ever really seen that explored in a television show before with, 12, 13 episodes, with a star like Evan Peters, who is playing both characters since they look identical?
Well, Evan Peters
also your premise, Austin. Your premise also brings to mind The Double starring Jesse Eisenberg and Another Me starring Sophia Turner.
Wait, say that again?
Also, The Prestige.
Your premise is also like The Double with Jesse Eisenberg and Another Me starring Sophia Turner.
There are points, but the general premise is very different than, especially The Double.
Yeah, it's more of a kind of an acting premise. I get it. It's definitely a different premise.
Yeah,
but
it's also a little bit Pretty Little Liars, because there's like that in Pretty Little Liars.
You know, I can't say I've ever seen that show, and I'm very proud of that fact.
That you can't watch it now because I've spoiled the ending for you. So.
Oh no!
Jesus! Spoiler alert!
I don't think any of you guys are gonna watch Pretty Little Liars.
I've seen it, Casey.
Oh,
I've seen it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I said I've seen it.
I don't know, but anyways, I feel like
what's fascinating me.
1 minute left.
Oh damn.
What fascinates me most about TV shows is getting compelling characters, and as a person who has kind of suffers from anxiety and depression, I want to feel a character who's going through those emotional troubles, completely hating a character but also feeling sympathetic to him as well. So that's what I would like to try to do. I don't want a horror aspect in this show as well. And unlike Dexter, where they didn't know when to quit, this show would know when to quit and pull back the reins and just focus on giving us 2 seasons of very solid TV and character development, and yeah, go from there.
Well, I'll go ahead and get into the end of mine. The direction that I want my show to go into is I want James to feel like he wants to take over Gordon's character, because Gordon is this successful actor. Of course, James, he had all this bad stuff happen to him. So I want it to explore the character dynamics and the relationships between those two people that look completely identical. The only problem I could see that running into is budget, because you're having to green screen the same actor. But I think if they put it on something like Netflix, they can do a good job of making something like that look believable.
Well, I don't know. My show offers it all: mystery, love, sci-fi, time travel. Like I said, it just has something for everybody. It's character-based as well, since it is taking place in high school, in a university. You have all different type of people, different type of backgrounds. Some people have different motives. I don't know. Maybe somebody can figure out how to get inside. And yeah, I don't know. It's just a big mystery ready to be solved. And I feel like people love mysteries.
Annihilation.
That's what I was thinking too. Annihilation.
All right, and done.
Okay, that was a lot less chaotic than the last few debates that we've had on this show. But you know what, guys? That was fantastic. It was great to hear you guys talk it out in a semi-civil way. And you know what? We got the 30 seconds rebuttals left. So, you know what, Austin, let's start with your...
I just feel like all three of your premises are things that I have seen before. I don't want to go down the sci-fi route again when you have so many things on these streaming services and television. And then the true story aspect is interesting. I just don't feel like it's something that's necessary to explore, especially in Chicago when you can't really follow a certain character unless you dig deep and find one. My premise is something that is different. The only thing that I can compare it to majorly, I know you guys brought up movies, but is a movie like Enemy, and they go down completely different routes. And with a character like an actor like Evan Peters, I think he can bring out the best and the worst in those characters.
Awesome.
All right, Adam, you're up. Go.
My movie, guys, is just like La La Land, but not. No, but I'm really excited.
Oh, God.
No, I totally get what you were saying, Austin, about the plot, but what I love is getting inside of mentality and seeing where the guy, how he moves from point A to point B through his life, and also try to put on a show to everybody else. Hence the name Gordon Smith. He doesn't want anybody to know who he is, and it's kind of like To Catch a Murder on Netflix, the documentary series, but in a television format.
All right. Good, Adam. Good. Alrighty, John. You're
okay, so anyways, like I was saying in mine, everybody loves a good mystery. Everybody loves sci-fi. That may be what's going on right now on TV, but it's working. And it's also based on horror. Just different people. It's also character-driven, like I said. Just these people, these kids going through their last year of high school and all of a sudden just getting thrown into this. Will they escape? Will they not? And also that's the name of the show, Escape, starring Charlie Sheridan, Saoirse Ronan, Ryan Gosling, Natalie Portman, Timothy Chalamet, and Chance the Rapper, and also Zach. You're probably in the show as well.
Fuck you. I'm done. Done. You're done. You're done. Fuck you.
All right.
All right.
John, I love you. All right. And finally, guys, Casey, give us your 30-second rebuttal.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so while I feel like your shows all have aspects that are really interesting, and I probably, you know, I watch episode or two of each of those there, I feel like they're like really big, high stretch scenarios, whereas this one's like a really like realistic and short and can just really hit you in the emotions. And I feel like that's what people want these days. They want shows that represent them and shows that will like make them feel something.
Done.
Okay.
All right, everybody, you've given your pitches, you've had your debate, now it's time for me and Zach to give you guys our overall thoughts. And unlike our last time, unlike what we did doing the 1 through 15, we decided to make it a little simpler. We're going to be giving people a score of 1 through 5 stars. So, Zach, let's get started. Who do you want us to talk to first?
Let's talk about John, because I like to criticize him. So, Cody, you can go first.
Well, okay. okay.
Roger Ebert, right here, ready.
Okay, John's gonna massacre me. Okay, here we go. So, John, I really enjoyed your idea pretty much throughout. My only problem here is that I feel like it could be a little bit too convoluted as the story progresses. Like, the location of Chicago is a really good thing for your story. The thing is, you said that I'm pretty sure I heard you say that the characters are going to have to escape from underneath that dome type thing or they would all die. And in my personal opinion, I think this works better as a movie. So for you, you got 3 stars.
Awesome.
All right. So I guess it's my turn to talk about it. John, loved your idea till you mentioned time travel. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here now? And that's where you kind of lost me. I'm not gonna lie. I was at like 4. Then you said that. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Then you said horror, brought me right back. Then you said the cast, and I was like, dang, I don't know how they're gonna afford this, but that's pretty damn cool. So I'm intrigued to watch it. I'd give it a shot. Hopefully. 3.6. Yes, I used the decimal system. Fuck off.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So from John, we're going to Adam. Adam the villain. He's back. Let me bring up his idea. Let me get my paper already. So Adam, Yes, your idea sounds like a mix between Dexter and Seven. Quite enjoy that. I like that type of stuff. And you got me once you mentioned Dexter and you said they're gonna pull the bracts, they're gonna get right down to the aspect. I like that perspective. I like Gordon Smith. I like the whole intro that you kind of get into there. So I'm gonna give you a 4.
You know what? Holy cow, Zach, you and I must be on the same page because number one, I also thought of Seven and Dexter. When it comes to this, and I'm thinking how, this might be an awesome show that could actually tie into Dexter Morgan as a character and all of that stuff. This sounds like a really interesting crime drama thriller that I could really get invested in, and I am also giving Adam a 4.
Can I say something about that? Because you said, this is because you already gave my scores. It could tie into it because I said he was a copycat killer. So...
Ooh, okay.
All right, we'll move on to...
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, let's go to Austin next. Oh, all right, guys, we're going to be moving on to Austin next. Austin, I loved this idea. Like, full-on loved it. First of all, it's original, and yeah, people brought up the fact that it could be like Enemy, or, it could be like The Double with Jesse Eisenberg. Here's the thing, though. The thing that is different between your idea and that is the fact that your idea... We have never seen something like this done in a television show before. I am sure we haven't. And everything from top to bottom, the whole idea that Gordon Smith is a famous actor, and this whole plot that he's going on, dude, you get a perfect 5 from me. I love this idea.
Oh, thank you, man. Wow.
Okay, well, I guess here we go. The Burkenator. So it's like an Enemy mixed with American Animals, which I think is fucking awesome. And I really liked all that aspect, so I was just joking. I just didn't give it a perfect score. I like the whole thing. It does seem like we've seen it before, but this is something that I'm intrigued to see, so I'd give it a 4.
All right, guys.
Awesome. All right.
And last but not least, Casey, your idea, I really enjoyed it. This is something that sounds like it could get tugged onto the heartstrings a little bit. I would be intrigued to step in for a couple of episodes. My only big problem with this idea is, yes, it's a really cool biographical type idea, and yes, it's a really cool idea to tug on the heartstrings, but I didn't really get a lot of dimension of the character of Gordon Smith, and I'm not exactly sure where he would go with this plot, and I'm not exactly sure how we would focus on him with so many characters within the city of Chicago. So for me, I really enjoyed the idea. You're getting a 3.
All right. Casey, your idea, in a sense, reminded me of The Purge, but actually realistic. Because I like the true story thing that you're actually going for. That's something I'm actually intrigued to watch, and I like that type of thing. And when you said the Gordon Smith thing, the way I kind of interpreted it is that any different type of character you go into, since Smith is such a common name, it could be a different each character, each type of thing, and that could be anthology. Maybe I'm just making that up, maybe I'm just kind of going with that, but I kind of like that. So, with that said, I'm giving you a 3.8.
I'll take it.
Alright, and for everyone knowing, before we go into round 2, the points are John with 6.6, Adam with 8, Casey with 6.8, and Austin with 9. And the reason John is behind is because he decided to bring time travel in. So.
Alright, everybody. Now we're moving into round 3. Zach will be in charge of pretty much everything. I'll be giving the rules, and Zach will take it from there. So, as before, this round is pretty much the same principle with our time limits. 2 minutes for pitches, 4 minutes for debate, and 30-second rebuttals, and then Zach and I will give 15 to 30 seconds of our overall thoughts. Zach, take it from there.
Alright, and who shall start first? This time we're not going to go with the ladies. This time we're going to go with Adam. He's returning, so why not? Start with him. Adam, you're going to go first. I'm going to give you a countdown starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go.
All right, guys, so my character that I was given to make a video game about was Adam Sandler. I had to make a video game about Adam Sandler. I could have gone the easy route, do like an NFL Blitz meets Tiger Woods Pro Golf, make a Happy Gilmore golf game where you can have Bob Barker and Shooter McGavin, and you drink beer and eat Subway. I could have done that. But, however, I decided to do something interesting, something that's never been done before, and the makers of my game will be Telltale, and Adam Sandler's kind of down on his luck right now, and this is kind of a real-life thing. He has some kind of head injury, and you get sucked into his movie career. So you start off with Billy Madison, and you relive the events of the game. And you can either make the movie better or worse by changing dialogue and so on and so forth. And you move on to the Happy Gilmore, and you even go into his bad movies as well. You can keep the events of the movies if you want to, but keep in mind, if you change Happy Gilmore, which you think that's a good movie, and you say you have him lose to Shooter McGavin, that might affect his movie career moving forward and down the line. So every choice you do in this game could affect his career, make him a bigger star or even a lesser known star. You go through even his bad Netflix movies, which there's a lot. You have to relive some of those moments. You could change the dialogue, you up and do whatever you do. You can save this man's career, or you can ruin it even further. And the whole plot of the game is you want to try to move his career in a way that he accepts a better movie contract at the very end of the game to win. And yeah, you could, there's so much DLC. You can do different actors as well in the future. So that's my idea.
Awesome. And only a minute and 40 seconds in. Great job. Can I just say real fast? I know this is the more predictable element, because I was thinking you were going to do this. I thought you were going to do Super Smash Brothers with all of Adam Sandler's characters from all his movies. And that's the way, I was like, if anyone says this, it's done. They won it. But there you go. I'm glad you went the Telltale route. That's actually way more intriguing than that one. So, with that going now, Casey, you're going to start us next. And on the count of 1, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
My character was Ducky from The Land Before Time. And the first thing that I came up with for this was the name. And so it's called Sitting Ducky, No More Mr. Ice Age. So basically... Basically, it's a platformer kind of like Mario games, etc. You play as Ducky, and the idea is that basically the Ice Age is coming. You need to get to the other characters, and they're sort of like, there's like levels, and then they're in blocks. So when you win a block, you like save the next character, Littlefoot, etc., and bring them on with you. Yeah, basically it's just, yeah, like sort of like Super Mario. It's just like a level thing with jumping and all that kind of stuff. But instead of, let's go, he says, yep, 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 at the beginning of each level.
Awesome.
I think he's
And yeah, and so like basically the end of it is and like and there's a lot of like ice factors to it. Basically, as you get closer to the end, there's a lot of like really slippery levels, like they have those ones in like Mario. And yeah, so that is, and the sitting ducks element is that basically they can't like sit still, they have to get out of there to get out of there. So get out, save themselves before the Ice Age. So yeah, that is Sitting Duckies, No More Mr. Nice Age.
That's fantastic.
Oh
my gosh.
Love the title.
Nice.
And let me say, again,
Nice.
when I put Ducky in there, I imagine someone putting like rocket launchers on the back of him, like Jurassic World 2 type or Jurassic World 2 type stuff, and shooting things. So Ducky, like the common, like the simple thing, like it. So now we go to Austin the Burkinator. Throw me your idea in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Alright, so my character that I was given for this game is Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, we've seen the movie version of this character, but with such a rich comic book history, why take the same route? And I'm a comic book nerd, so I'm excited to talk about this. First off, the game will have the layout of Star Wars Battlefront and the fighting style of Arkham Asylum. The campaign mode will be retelling the origin of Gamora with the option to skip it, but in a new way. Gamora's people were wiped out by something called the Baron. They're a reptilian-like alien species. She's the lone survivor, and she was discovered by Thanos, so it's a little bit different than the movies. He raises her with the purpose of going after something called the Magus, M-A-G-U-S in all caps, and the Universal Church of Truth. That is Adam Warlock's, if you know him from the comics, it's his godlike counterpart. So your first mission as Gamora is to assassinate the Magus. The mission fails and forces Thanos to teleport and join forces with Adam Warlock, Gamora, and Pip the Troll, who is a character that you will be introduced to at the beginning, yes, see, you know, at the beginning of the entire sequence. You can not only play as Gamora through all of these missions, but also as the 3 other characters you get to choose. Now, your main mission is Magus orders thousands of his Black Knights to attack Warlock and his companions. You travel the open world setting to find Magus again and fight these knights as you go along, who progressively get more powerful along the way. Of course, you have power-ups and your side missions to help villagers on the planet, and then once you defeat Magus, Gamora discovers that her father Thanos has an ulterior motive and love for the Mistress Death all along. This causes Adam Warlock, Pip the Troll, and Gamora to team up and take on Thanos before he reaches his goal of collecting the first Infinity Stone. This loosely follows the comics. It's very different from the movies, but I think it could be interesting, and it's a woman assassin who gets to lead her own franchise. The game will have a multiplayer setting where you can fight with Pip, Adam Warlock, Thanos, and Gamora, and unlock characters like Magus, Star-Lord, Rocket, Adult Groot, and Drax to fight eventually. Seconds. And then there's alternative skins and, of course, modes and fight styles as you progress throughout the game.
Wow.
Bam!
Holy smokes.
Man, let's get these games made. Alright, and last but not least, or maybe least, John, the real talk. Give me your real layout on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go.
Alright, so my character, or whatever you want to call it, I had to, make a game up for, was The Purge. So I immediately kind of went through, like Adam, he took my idea, Telltale game. So basically your character is the main character in this game called The Purge Trumps America. So basically Trump has been pushing to make The Purge real, and is happening, and is actually going to be a little bit longer, a whole day. So basically you're stuck in The Purge when it begins, and like it's a Telltale game, you get to choose between either you wanting to kill people or wanting to save them. And so basically if you do either or, you get certain skill points and everything like that. And it's an open world game as well, so you're literally just be walking down the street, you're trying to go accomplish whatever mission. You either want to keep the purge or want to eliminate it for good, and you're going to encounter just random riots. You can be a part of it, or try to break it up, people getting mugged and all that stuff. It's also going to include a multiplayer mode, just exactly like Fortnite, but the purge skins and stuff like that. So I think it'll be fun to play with your friends and family too, if you want to. And also just all these DLC that's gonna, obviously just, you can customize your character, vehicles and all that stuff. And I just think it'll be an all-out fun game. Purge, you try to stop it or, keep it going. And yeah, I think that's my pitch.
Awesome. Awesome pitch, man. I assumed you'd go that route. I think that's the easiest way to make a video game, is make it like a Fortnite and Battle Royale. Yeah, time travel.
I kept that away. That was on my notes, but I kept it away.
John, if you bring that up, I'm not giving you points. But from there on, let's continue.
Introduce the debate.
All right, everyone. All right, everyone. Now we are going into the debate part. 4 minutes on the count of whenever. We're gonna start this stuff. On ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone debate and go.
First things first. I think everybody has some great ideas. However, the Ducky game. Big missed opportunity. Where was Sid the Sloth from Ice Age? You have Ice Age in there. You could totally smash that franchise out of it. The Purge Telltale game. Name a Telltale game that actually was good, that had open world in it. I'll wait. Also, Austin, I love your idea. I don't want to butcher this one. However, it's going to confuse the casual fans of the continuity and everything. Also, has any Marvel game property been made a good video game that wasn't owned by Disney? Go!
Okay, Adam, I like your idea. It's fine, but my problem is I don't want to relive the bad Adam Sandler movies. I want nothing to do with that. I don't want to go through Jack and Jill and try to figure out why Al Pacino's in there causing trouble. I don't want to do that. And then the good movies, I don't want to ruin the good movies. I'm okay with Waterboy the way it is. Though he only has like 4 or 5 good movies to his name, so I don't want to have anything to do with that as well. The Purge idea, I think it's fine, but I liked Adam's point. When have you ever seen a game from those people in that style that has worked? I don't think it would work. I think it would be a complete and total mess. The Ducky game's cool, but I can play Mario. It sounds like the exact same concept to me, and I don't want to do that. As for my game, I think the idea behind this is that Gamora is a fierce, exciting assassin/warrior, and you have never seen a story from this aspect. Do people get confused when they play Batman Arkham Asylum from the movies? No! It's some of people's favorite interpretation of Batman of all time, so I don't think that's something that you could strike against. I'm out of breath.
All right, guys, go debate.
I think
Guys, go debate.
I'm just gonna stay quiet because I really just think there's no holes. But that said,
well, like how you guys been saying, I do like all your guys' ideas, and as soon as Casey said yup, I was like, give her the win. But I don't know. I feel like people are riding the high of Fortnite. They want to play that. They want to continue. They actually want something better. And I feel like in this whole political spectrum or atmosphere that we're in, it would be cool to actually go in there and try to do something about it. Either try to stop this whole purge and overall Trump's America. And you, like I said, you can play online and all that stuff. The Gamora game, I mean, I think it's cool, but I think I would have been buying it even more if it was the whole Guardians as a whole together. I get that maybe later on down the line you can get it. And then the whole Adam Sandler game, I mean, I don't know. He's not really a big favorite actor of mine. But, I mean, Funny People was alright. I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. But I don't know. I don't want to relive some guy's, you know, story. I don't know. I want to escape and kind of just...
Oh, absolutely. And to Austin's point, you don't. If you play the game in a way that makes his career better, he wouldn't have accepted Jack and Jill in the first place. You wouldn't have to relive that film. And yes.
1 minute left.
But then we wouldn't.
That's the
then
point.
we wouldn't have Adam
The
Sandler the joke.
And it comes with a great DLC of Happy Gilmore Ball. NFL Blitz needs. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
I think.
Oh gosh.
Everyone else got anything else to say? I can end it early.
I think that's
I've got all
it.
my
That's
points
pretty
out.
much it.
Yeah. That's
All right.
for me.
All right,
All right,
Zach.
I'll end it there then.
I can
Sweet.
keep BSing if
We're
you
only
guys
3
want me
minutes
to,
and
no problem.
31 seconds in. Awesome to hear. I mean, we can get that. But so I'm going to go through with this. I'm going to do a 3-second rebuttal. I'm going to start saying the people's names. If you don't have anything else to say, then just say, I'm going to win. Okay? Cool. We're going to start with John. John, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I hope I win.
That was easy. That was easy for sure. Casey, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, I really just also want to say I hope I win for the meme, but also I feel like everyone is familiar with the idea of Super Mario. It's a calming game. Everyone just plays it as like a little bit of, you know, just a bit of fun or whatever. So to add like a different aspect to
15
it is
seconds
just
left.
like extending it further. That said, it also has Ducky in it, who's adorable, and the other characters from The Land Before Time.
Yep.
I was just given the hand I was dealt.
Hey, there we go.
yep.
There we go. All right. And Austin, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Okay,
go.
okay, so I like the idea of doing something different with Gamora. We have seen what she's done with the Guardians of the Galaxy. My reasoning for not putting those guys in because they're unlockable characters, and when you get to that multiplayer mode, something like in Battlefront where you can take character versus character and you can fight with their different fighting styles, I think that's a cool way to include those guys. But focusing on Gamora, an interesting and incredible, be a female character, and I think that's important for especially the time that we're in. You have to have a female leading role every now and then in a video game, which we've not seen a lot of in the video game format. I think Gamora's the perfect person to do it. Fiercest woman in the galaxy, that'll be the subtitle.
All right, and Adam, the villain. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Adam Sandler, the laughing joke of all movies. I get it. He is not the most ideal character for a video game, but this is something different. You can retcon his whole career if you want to. A lot of people really like Adam Sandler, so he's still very popular in his name value. And like I said, DLC for this you could have, or spin-off actually, if you were. You could do different people's careers as well. So there's that. And yeah, this was everybody's idea is great. So can't take it away from me. Good job, guys.
Awesome.
I
Done.
agree.
Perfect 30 seconds right there. Because I'm dumb and I forget to say 15 seconds. So, that was great. That was awesome. Cody, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought they had some really fantastic ideas. I honestly wanna play all these games right now. I wish they were real so I could buy them or have them be put into development. But Zach, it's time to not waste any more time. Let's start telling them their results.
All right, you can start from this one time, my friend.
All right, sounds perfectly good to me. And I'm gonna start out with Adam the villain. Adam, you have a really cool concept. Taking Adam Sandler and putting him into a Telltale type game with choices and consequences, that all sounds good. Here's my issue though. You're taking Adam Sandler and you're putting him into all of his past career choices, and either the choice aspect I like, but whereas everybody had a different interpretation of a movie, yours is straight up like a movie-based video game. And that's what worries me, because I worry that this is not going to be good. However, the Telltale aspect has me curious, so I gave you 3 stars.
And Adam, let me get my paper here. Disappointed you didn't do Super Smash Brothers, to be honest. But it's Telltale, so that's pretty cool. I do like Telltale. I like a lot of their stuff. But when whoever said reliving the bad Adam Sandler films, that's when I was like, oh yeah, that was Jack and Jill. That kind of scares me. And I get it, I could go in a different direction, but that's what kind of scared me. But I mean, it'd be cool, like, what if I made Jack and Jill where, like, he just ends up killing his whole family? Like, that would be fun. Like, that would be cool for Telltale let me do that. So, when I got to that aspect, I gave you a 3.6.
Alright, so let's just move on to John. John, I really like your idea. Doing a Telltale type game with The Purge, I feel works better than the Adam Sandler video game, and so I think some enjoyment can be had there. But the point they made where it's, when has a open world Telltale game ever been good? Which, me personally, I've never seen a Telltale open world game, so I can't clarify that. What I will say is, this could feel kind of generic, and this could feel like a game that just could be a skin for Fortnite. So, in that aspect, I don't think it was very well established, but overall, I think this could be a really fun game to play, so 3.5 from me.
Alright, so John, The Purge, Fortnite, rated M? You talking to me, boy. But, then you said Telltale, and I'm kind of like, Telltale could do this, but I've never seen them do an open world game, so that kind of worries about me. Maybe they can't do it. I mean, half the time their games can't even run that well. So, that's where I kind of got to that. But, I mean, Purge rated M? I mean, Fortnite rated M? That's pretty damn cool, so I'd give you a 3.5.
Alright, moving on. Let's move on to Casey. Casey, this was almost so close to being a perfect game for me. The only problem I really have with it is that the whole idea that it could be very similar to Super Mario Bros. As a flat platformer. I mean, that was really my only issue with it. But the idea that you have of I love the title. First of all, love the title. And then Ducky saving her friends and all that. Good stuff across the board. 4.5 from me.
Dang! Damn, I'm a dick. Yep. So, Casey, I gave you Ducky, and this is a character I've been wanting to use in the show since we talked about it, like literally 8 months ago. I love Ducky. I think Ducky's a cute character. It's a cool little idea, a little jumping around. Kind of reminds me of, like, going back, like, when you're saying, like, yeah, it is like Mario, but it's kind of like the Scott Pilgrim game they made, like, a couple years back, where it was just like one of those old arcade brawlers and stuff, and I kind of like that kind of aspect, that it's kind of going old school. And yep, just hearing that, I kind of want to give you a great score, but again, then they brought up Ice Age and started making me think about Ice Age, and I don't like Ice Age that much, so 3.6.
Alright, and finally, now moving on to Austin. Austin. I loved this idea. You know, me, I am not a comic book nerd. The only thing I know about comic book characters is essentially from the movies and from a copy of The Killing Joke. That's my extensive knowledge. But this game, knowing the power-ups that Gamora and her teammates are going to get, knowing the unlockables, knowing the quest, knowing how she's going to connect with Thanos, and I feel as though an individual story with Thanos separated from all the other Guardians could be a really, really interesting and personal take. It could be like the Batman Arkham games, which are some of the coolest comic book games out there. But let me tell you, if Deadpool shows up there when Death appears, I'm done. But for me, this idea, it's a wow, 5 out of 5 for me. Great job, my friend.
Awesome. All right, and so Gamora, one of the most badass women ever in film, played by Zoe Saldana. But it wouldn't be played by Zoe Saldana because it's a video game. You got me when you said comic book. I like when you do different interpretations of different characters. And of course, we haven't seen a different interpretation of Gamora yet, so that's something I really want to see. You said all these different characters. You go on Magnus, you go on Adam Warlock, you're talking to my heart. Then you brought up Pip the Troll. I'm like, oh my god, Pip the Troll. Dang, I'm about to go all sweaty on this. And overall, I really liked it. Again, it does take some elements from Batman, and I mean, again, like, the new Spider-Man game's doing the same thing, so I can't, like, knock it too much, but I give it a 4 out of 5. So, as everyone knows, the points go as B. John came in 13.6 because the guy had to mention fucking time travel. Adam has 14.6, Casey has 14.9, and Austin has 18 points. So that means Casey and Austin will be proceeding to the next round, the last and final round. But without that said, John and Adam, we do need a guest judge for the last round since there are no points in that. We need help discussing who's going to win that. So, how are we going to do this? To decide who's going to be our judge, these two people are going to have to be fighting in sudden death. Sudden death's changed a bit, though. We're not making them pick a random Nickelodeon character, because not everyone knows Gurr, apparently. Who knew? How we're going to have John and Adam fight is... John, Adam, you listening? You guys are going to trash your own idea and tell me why it's the worst video game that could ever be made. You guys each have 1 minute to diss your own idea. No arguing, just straight up. I'm going to tell John 1 minute, and Adam, you're going to get 1 minute too. So, who wants to go first? Sweet.
I'll go first.
Ready, set, go.
Jack and Jill. There we go. That's 1 minute. all the bad movie ideas. I was up against the wall. Had to come up with something. And now I'm literally sitting here wishing I just went with the Happy Gilmore golf game, because that was a way better idea than this. This game is stupid. Not even the great Telltale can make this game work, because the man's career is absolute garbage. Have you seen Jack and Jill? Have you seen The Week Up? Have you seen The Ridiculous Six? The guy's a living shit pile. And even Jeff Goldblum is saying that his career is one big pile of shit.
Awesome. I'm guessing that's where it's going to end. Now, John, you ready?
Yes.
Ready, set, go.
Alright, so you know what? I was just playing the hand I was dealt with, The Purge. I mean, I don't know. Personally, like you guys said, I've never seen an open world Telltale game, and I think that would be kind of too much going on. You can just go anywhere and anybody can see. I don't know. It's kind of convoluted, and then again, I chose to name the game The Purge Trumps America. I feel like people want to escape that right now. They don't want to play a game about that. So, and then plus, like Cody said, it does sound generic. Fortnite copy with just a Purge skin. And yeah, we have too many shooters and all that stuff, and it's kind of like a GTA, if you will, too. So
Done.
I feel like...
Okay. Damn, I don't know where to start. Cody, you can start first.
Yep, for me, this is definitely going to be Adam, because Adam, you're 100% right. No one wants to play through Adam Sandler's really terrible movies over again. No one wants to play Jack and Jill. No one wants to play the Ridiculous Six. Nobody wants to oh, jeez, I can, you know, one bad movie, another one after another. You know, just like the trolls all over again. No one wants to play these really, really terrible Adam Sandler movies over again. And you were up against the wall. Adam, in my opinion, you made the worst idea, so yes, you can move on forward. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Zach,
Okay.
what about you?
Okay, so John, I'm sorry, Adam won.
No,
I would rather, no matter what, I would rather play The Purge. Whenever someone picked Adam Sandler, I'm like, they're screwed. I'm so sorry, they're screwed.
Yeah.
And but he did do a good job to choosing what he had to do. But John, you almost got me there. You almost got me there. But I'm sorry, Adam, once you said Jack and Jill, you won. You won. You acknowledged what was wrong. So Adam will be our guest judge moving into round 3, the final round between Casey and the Burkinator. And, Cody, why don't you discuss what round 3 will be about?
So, moving into round 3, Casey and Austin are our final 2 competitors. And guys, just like with episode 1, first of all, if you haven't seen the show before, this is our Create It round. What we do is our last 2 contestants will choose a number from 1 through 4, and with those numbers will come a corresponding director and actor pair that they will have a couple of minutes to think of a original idea for a film. And after that, Zach and I, and as we can see, Adam will listen to their ideas and we'll give them their feedback, and whoever's idea we think was the most original and most creative, they will go. So, alright, Austin, choose a number from 1 through 4.
I will take number 3.
All right. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Austin.
There's no porn stars this time, I swear to
just
God.
about to
I didn't put one this time.
I was like, give me the porn star.
Austin, your pair is Seth Rogen and Ari Aster. All right, Casey. What is your number?
Sorry, what were the numbers again? 1 and 4?
1, 2, and 4.
1, 2, and 4.
All right, you get Alden Ehrenreich and Ron Howard. All right, everybody. So now our contestants are going to have a 2-minute intermission to come up with their ideas, but through the power of movie magic, we'll be on the other side watching their ideas being unfolded right now.
Alright guys, round 3, create it, film it, whatever you want to call it. They got to make their own films. They've been given more than 2 minutes because we're really bad at this, and we're ready for them to let it go. So again, and how they're going to do it this time is again, 2-minute pitches, 2-minute debates, and 30-second rebuttals. So, Casey, I'm not going to start with you this time, but Austin, we'll start with you. So, on your mark, get set, go.
All right, so my director was Ari Aster, who's the director of Hereditary. Guys, by the way, this was really difficult to come up with, so I don't know how it's going to sound, but he masters horror and he knows shot composition. So, my movie is Seth Rogen. He's a pretty happy fella. He has a girlfriend who is pregnant. He has his life in order. His best friend is a cop being forced into retirement, played by Robert Redford. His wife had killed herself years earlier, so he's a frustrated man. Think Tommy Lee Jones in No Country for Old Men. That's his attitude on life. So you have the beautiful cinematography of something like a Hell or High Water. That's how this movie is going to be filmed. You mix that with the same guy who did Hereditary cinematography, I think you can bring something like a beautiful aspect to that kind of film. So, one day Seth Rogen goes thrift shopping, right? He's an avid thrift shopper. That's how they're on a budget per se, so they like to buy things cheaper. He finds a video camera. He finds a tape in that camera. It was a filming of a murder. So he goes to Redford's character to report this, but Robert Redford doesn't want to tell anybody because since they are pushing him into retirement, he wants to solve this by himself. That way he can stay on the force just a little bit longer. So Seth researches this, starts getting texts and notes from a mysterious person. So he knows about the murder. He doesn't know who is sending them all these notes. So I'm going to fast forward to the end because you can kind of figure out the story from there. So the end of this film, you find out that the camera was actually Robert Redford's camera, and that was his tape. He had actually murdered his wife 22 years earlier. Somehow he covered this up, staged it as a suicide, and Seth Rogen and Robert Redford's character, it's a cat and mouse game from that point on. Picture the end of Hell or High Water, how you have that big confrontation at the end with the emotional gut punch. That's what I want it to be, and I know Seth Rogen can pull this off. We've not seen it necessarily from him, but we've seen him in very serious movies before where he gives a great performance. This is something different from him, and I love how it could go down that crazy route that Ari Aster can give us.
Done. Awesome. Great time. Casey, are you ready?
I can't do it. I can't beat that. What are you talking about? I'm ready to
Casey,
go.
We believe in you. Let's get
I have
this.
like a very minimal idea. Okay, all right.
That's fine. Ready? On your marks, get set, go.
Okay, so my director was Ron Howard, and my actor was Alden Ehrenreich. Is that how you say it? Yes, okay. Yes. Alden Ehrenreich. So Ron Howard has pretty much done a little bit of everything these days. He's got like older movies that everyone believes are like classics and that everyone has to see. He's directed some bits of Arrested Development. He's done Solo now. He's pretty much done like all of the different things. And I feel like he has that sort of name value that if it was said that Ron Howard directed it, that, pretty much, people would be like, yeah, we got to go watch it. So I feel like he could do everything, including a biopic of his own life, basically. He's just directing, like, his own life. Like, it's just a biopic, but because he is, like, a director, like, it's, like, a more hyped up and, like, over-the-top version of his life. And, of course, we have to have Alden Ehrenreich. Just basically, he's just at this point where he's like, Ron Howard's at this point where he's like, I'm just going to do anything. I'm just going to chuck people in a movie and I'm just going to go and see if they watch it. So Alden Ehrenreich can play Ron Howard, young Ron Howard. And then we're just going to stick Michelle Pfeiffer in there because, like, who doesn't love Michelle Pfeiffer? And, like, she can just be in there. And, like, I'm sure their paths have crossed at some point. Would she play herself or would she play a character? Who knows? Because she's Michelle Pfeiffer. This whole movie is just basically Ron Howard being like, oh man, I can do anything. Just a like complete pissing contest. He's just like, oh, you guys are gonna come and watch this, but there'll be all this like backlash because of like Solo and Alden Ehrenreich, and it's just gonna get all the angry anti-fanboys out there, and it's just it'll be massive. It'll be a train wreck, and Ron Howard will be like, I got money anyway, so it's fine.
Awesome, guys, awesome pitches. You guys are going to have 2 minutes to debate this thing. If you guys need the full 2 minutes, I hope you guys have fun arguing. And on your marks, get set, go.
I'm just going to argue for the sake of arguing because, like, I don't even know really what to argue at anymore. But I just, I just want to win. So just shut up, This is just a movie with Ron Howard. And Ron Howard's like, man, it's me. And then he can just carry off anything. So I don't care that your idea was incredibly well thought out and incredibly well described and it just would be a fantastic movie because I love Seth Rogen and I love Ari Aster. But mine is just still better because I just Ron Howard. So just, No.
Sorry about the Seth Rogen laugh. That's just my attempt. Listen, I like the concept of your movie, but my problem with Ron Howard directing a movie about himself is he going to bring forward any issues about his life? If you're directing your own movie, imagine me, imagine Austin Burke directing his own biopic. Would I want people to know about the bad aspects of my life? Of course not. So all we're going to get is, oh, Ron Howard made this movie, made this film. Let's shove aside crappy movies that he's done. He's just going to talk good about himself, and I don't want that. I don't want that from a director, especially if Ron Howard.
I think he would just like, no, I think he'd embrace it, because at this point, the whole idea of it is that he's just like, ha 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 ha, fuck you all. So I feel like he would just embrace it. He would be like, man, I'm shit, you go and watch it. Man, I made Solo, everybody hated that. Haha, it's okay, I got millions of dollars. So that's why I think it would be hilarious, because I think that he would just be like, I'm past the point of caring now, guys. I bought you everything. You can just come and worship at my altar. But I feel like he would he would just like pretend that it's all the great stuff, and then it would be all the bad stuff, and people would be like, shit, why did we watch this? But they watched it, so.
But that doesn't make for an interesting movie. That's not a movie that I want to go watch. I don't want to watch Ron Howard just have a pissing contest with himself because he's obviously going to win. I don't want to see that. I want to see a movie from the director that just brought us Hereditary. Hereditary is a phenomenal film. If he can bring what he brought to that, mixed with a
so do I,
Western
but I got Ron Howard.
In modern times, of course I want to see it. Sorry, Seth Rogen.
Wow! I was not expecting that.
Everyone give him a round of applause. Give him a round of applause. Now, before we get into who won and who chose what person to pick, and because there's no points, it's just this person won or this person got it. I gotta give a shout out to both of them, because seriously, Casey, you came up with a really cool concept. That once Austin started giving his, I was like, man, this is gonna be really hard to beat. But you gave me a concept that reminded me it would be like an Arrested Development type humor in a biopic that would totally work on the big screen. I really liked both your guys' ideas, but I'm gonna throw it over. So I'm gonna let Adam give his 30 seconds first, and then who he chooses to win, and then Cody, then me. So Adam, you take it away.
All right, so I love Casey's idea because I think it'd be awesome, especially if you throw in like a Bryce Dallas Howard to play Bryce Dallas Howard and Clint Howard, his brother, in there. You have those guys in there with Alden Ehrenreich. I think that's really funny, but I'm still sour that I lost. And I think this is a really funny idea. I love the comedy aspect in your pitch there, Casey. But unfortunately, I'm going with Austin. I think that just looks something that right up my alley, and I want to see it. So here's shots for you guys.
Awesome. So wow. Adam chose Austin. Maybe it's because they both have the first name that starts with an A. Who knows? We'll never know. But here we go now. Cody.
Yeah, round of applause. You both did great. Casey, I really like the idea of your film because it's a very self-aware picture. It's a very I honestly, Parks and Rec, yes, I suppose so, but I get the feel more of along the lines of a Deadpool breaking the fourth wall kind of comedy. I would love to see that. Well, honestly, my pick has to be Austin here because when it comes down to it, I really like the self-aware biopic idea when it comes to Ron Howard. But that biopic aspect, I feel as though it's something that we have gotten before. When it comes to Austin's idea, I love the originality of it. I love where you can take these characters. I love Ari Aster as a director. Hereditary is fantastic. And this feels like this feels almost kind of like a Memento type movie. And then by the end of it, it's just something that could leave doors open, like the end of Inception, like the entirety of Memento. Just great films that leave you with questions from beginning to end. Austin, for me, you're the winner on this one.
Okay, so I guess I'm outjudged. I'm just gonna be straight up. I picked Casey's idea. That's the honest opinion. As much as I loved Austin's idea, the only thing I could think of with Seth Rogen in my head is his freaking laugh. His laugh the whole time, just laughing when something dark happens. He finds the videotape, he watches it, he starts laughing. That's what I would imagine. So, I mean, maybe Ari Aster can do a horror comedy. That would be pretty cool, but I don't know. Like, I just really like the idea. It's such an intriguing idea, but Seth Rogen scares me in the role. I know he has those dramatic chops, because if you haven't seen Steve Jobs, he was fantastic in that. But for some reason, I mean, Casey kind of hit that Deadpool point for me. I'm a big Deadpool fan. You can see the damn shield somewhere in my room. You can see a bunch of Deadpool stuff behind me. I'm a big Deadpool fan in general, and hearing that fourth wall breaking, that's exactly what I was thinking. I love Arrested Development. So I picked Casey's idea just because Cody says it's something we've seen before, but genuinely, I've never seen that before. And I haven't seen either of your ideas. I would go out and watch both of them. But I picked Casey because, yep. But in that total, so it looks like Austin is winner, or the battle winner, the champion of Entertainment Wars Episode 2, or Battle 2, whatever you guys want to call it. So round of applause for Austin. Everyone did a fantastic job this time around. Seriously, everyone from Episode 1, everyone did a good job. Episode 1 brought it here. They watched that episode. They studied. They did their times. Maybe they came up with it 5 minutes before, 20 minutes before. Who knows? We'll never know unless they tell us. But I really liked it. Before we get going, we got to say our thank yous. We got to let these guys plug their channels, where you guys can find them at. So, of course, we're going to start with Casey, our second place winner. Casey, where can they find you at?
So first of all, I just want to say, like, well done to everyone, but well done to our winner in particular. I came out swinging in the end, but I couldn't make it. So, and thanks to Zach and Cody for making this, because it's amazing. My channel is youtube.com/Casey Causley, which is my name. I'm not going to spell it out for you. I'm sure it will be somewhere. But yeah, so thanks for having me.
Or look up on Twitter, A Turd in the Wind, and you can find her.
I had to explain that to someone the other day.
All right, and now, guys, we got to say goodbye to Adam the villain. Until next time, Adam, where can they find you?
All right, guys. Well, it's great to be back here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for having me. Great competition. It looks like I'm always the bridesmaid and never the bride. I can never win one of these things, but I'm always have fun competing with you guys. Love this idea. Love this show. Fuck you, Adam Sandler. And because Adam Sandler also screwed me over in Rotten or Fresh too. So that's also another. Anyway, but you can find me, guys, on Twitter at Adam Sideways, on Letterboxd at Almost Sideways, and officially as of today, it's going to be announced that I'm coming back to YouTube at Adam Daly Live.
Yes.
So you can definitely check that out. Yeah. Weekly shows every single Saturday and Sunday, and rankings or video discussions on Saturday, and a live conversation with a guest on Sundays. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for your support. Wow. I'm back.
Glad to have you back, man. Glad to have the villain back on YouTube. We really do need him. Now, I don't really want to introduce the next guy because he brought up time travel, so Cody, you can.
Of course you want me to bring him up. But, of course, you know, he's our great buddy. John, thank you so much for coming on to the show. But, John, where can they find you?
Yeah, thanks so much, everybody, Zach, Cody, for putting me on this show. I loved it. This show is awesome. Had a ton of fun meeting everybody. And, yeah, fuck time travel. It screwed me over, I guess. But you guys can find me on YouTube at The Real Talk. I was going to say Talk with 2Ks, but that's my Twitter and Instagram. I just kind of, came back as well. I did a show with Zach here. It's just kind of a one-on-one interview, just sitting down, talking. You guys should check that out. But yeah, guys, like I said, you guys can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at The Real Talk, Talk with 2Ks. And yeah, until next time, I'll see you at the movies.
Thank you so much, John. And to our big winner, our big champion, who we'll probably make sure to see again, the Burkenator. Where can they find you at, man?
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me on. This was an absolute blast. I do not consider myself the winner because literally every idea from every person tonight was so good, and I had such a tough time trying to find issues with all of them, so thank you guys for being on this show. Seriously, I'm honored to be a part of this team, and I like the idea for the show in general, so Zach, Cody, you guys kill it as hosts. I appreciate you bringing me on. You guys can find me on YouTube at Austin Burke, on Twitter at The Burkenator with a 3 instead of the E. It's like the Baconator, but it's me. And just keep watching movies, guys, because that's what's bringing us all together tonight. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. Okay, Austin, Adam, Casey, and John, thank you guys all so much for participating in the show, and thank you to everybody who has come out to watch the show. It means so much. And of course, it's a lot of hard work to bring something like this together, but we're excited to bring it to you. Guys, if you want to find me, you can find me either on YouTube, search Cody Curtis, on Twitter, Facebook, all the stuff, Cody Curtis. And Zach and I also have a little podcast where we dive deep into movies and we look in the movies, talk about them just in more depth, and you can find more about our own creativity. Search up the Sweet Film Podcast, you'll be able to find it. But of course, that is not what is important. Zach, my great friend, my sweet life brother, where can they find you?
I mean, you guys can find it right here on this YouTube channel because that's where you're watching this game show. So thank you so much for watching this. Thank you guys for all the support, all the love, all the subscribing. Thank you to all these beautiful competitors. Honestly, another round of applause for them. They were all fucking amazing. And I seriously mean a fucking amazing. Each and every one of them. Go hit their subscribe button. Go hit their like button. They are seriously fabulous. And I'm just ecstatic with this show. I'm excited with all the feedback. You guys are really loving it. We can't wait to bring you guys our next episode because we are in development of our third one already. Yeah, we're kind of planning ahead, but we cannot wait to give you guys that. Can't wait for everything else coming down in the future. So guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, go over to Sandwich on Films, hit them up over there. And guys, seriously, this is the best YouTube fan film. We are the next generation of YouTubers. I seriously mean that. Hit these subscribe buttons. You guys want to be in the comments like 10 years from now when you're like, oh, I know Casey. She used to be the turd in the wind. I remember that. So we all know that. You guys all have a great rest of your night. And of course, stay classy.
Yes, I use the decimal system. Fuck off.
Oh my gosh. I am going to die, guys. You guys are going to kill me. This is too
So
funny.
everyone knows Cody is like the easiest person to make laugh. Like you can literally just like make that sound and he'll laugh. So, and he's done. He's done.
Hey, we should definitely put this in the show.
Yeah.
At the end, bloopers.
My camera's about to go flat. My camera's about to go flat. I have to change over to my phone.
Okay, that's fine. You can do that. That's fine. It's gonna take him a couple more minutes.
It's gonna take Cody a couple We're gonna take a photo of that
Cody,
one
if you
and,
stop recording, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Oh my god.
I'm done.
He's turning into
Sounds like
Pennywise.
Pennywise.